Hello, and welcome to Your County Government. My name is Greg Moore. I serve as chair of the Eau Claire County Board of Supervisors, as well as the moderator of this program called Your County Government. Today we're going to be talking about education, conservation, and recreation here in Eau Claire County. And with us today, with me today, and you today, we've got Erin LaFaive. Erin is the horticulture educator for Eau Claire County with UW Extension, and is also a co-department head of UW Extension. Kelly Jacobs, our land conservation manager here in Eau Claire County, and Josh Pederson, director of our Parks and Forest Department. So welcome. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.
Erin, why don't we start with you? Tell us about what a horticulture educator does, and then after that, some of the other services provided through UW Extension.
Sure. So as a horticulture educator, I provide research-based information to the general public, and as a university, we want to provide all the research that's being done on the university and bring it out to all the boundaries of Wisconsin so that everybody can have access to the wonderful information. I help people with their lawn, garden, tree, shrub questions, all the gamut there. And so you can be sure that I'm not trying to sell a product or trying to endorse anything. I'm just trying to give environmentally sound, research-based information for people to use so that they can grow what they want to grow and maintain their landscapes too. I also train and manage the Master Gardener Volunteer program, and those volunteers do programs throughout the community and help with education of youth and do the Winter Garden Seminar and help me provide a broader reach into the community to get more information out there. You'll see them at the Ask a Master Gardener booth at the Eau Claire Downtown Farmers Market too, and helping to answer questions on Saturday mornings. Some of the other things I do, I write articles for local papers about horticultural and environmental natural resource management type topics. I write grants, and I run youth gardens at North Riverfront and McDonough Park. We run the Jeffers Road Community Garden, and there's also a greenhouse, community greenhouse out there too that people can start seeds at that we manage. The other things that the agents and educators do at our office, there's the agriculture agent who helps with farms and dairy farms and crop farms and of the like, and helps them do certain plans and helps them transfer land from generation to generation if they're looking to transfer it to a son or daughter. Then we have the Wisconsin Nutrition Education Program that helps people from limited income backgrounds learn how to use stretch their food dollars and make nutritious foods and snacks. We have the Family Living Educator, Brooke Berg, who does lots of things in terms of directors retreats for daycares and facilities like that, and helps people with human development type coalitions that are going on in the community. And we also have the 4-H and Youth Development Educator who does the traditional 4-H programs and after school programming at various sites around Eau Claire. And that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg of what we do. We do a lot of different collaborations with community partners throughout the community to help them, provide them with some research-based information strategies that they can employ within their organization or group or things like that.
Great, great. And you mentioned the agriculture industry and working with the ag agents and so on. And Kelly, as the land conservation manager, you probably work with our ag community pretty extensively.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about that, as well as just generally what is involved with conserving our land and our natural resources?
Right, yeah. So with Eau Claire County Land Conservation, we do a wide variety of things. Essentially anything land and water related comes through our office. So within Eau Claire County, we have a variety of programs, and one of the biggest things we do is we work with a lot of other people, partners and such, to collaborate on some of those. One of our biggest partner, though, is the private landowners in our county. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what happens in managing our resources is managed by all of our taxpayers and our county citizens, mm-hmm. which is a really important thing to partner with them to try to do what's best on their land for their purposes, but also for the resources as a whole in the county. So we're really happy to serve that role. We do leverage a lot of different grants and funds, a lot like Erin mentioned. We have a lot of resources coming in from the state level, even some federal level. We provide some of those resources directly to landowners, but also we put them into programming work to help protect those land and water resources, like through the lakes programs and such. We like to help those efforts in trying to maintain that resource that we have in Eau Claire County here as well.
I know you mentioned working directly with property owners. We, at the county board meeting, once a year, we present conservation awards to folks that you work with. Can you talk about some of those, not necessarily the individuals, but the kinds of practices and contributions that individual property owners are making for the betterment of the whole county with their land management practices?
Yeah, so one of the things we do is we do recognize the conservation farmer every year, and a lot of the practices they do actually try to help keep the soil on their land. So we help encourage that, whether it be through cost share or through planning or through nutrient management planning is another big thing we do. We help work with them to seed down areas of concentrated flow, such as grassed waterways, trying to keep that soil in place so it doesn't get washed downstream. The nutrients managed in an appropriate way on their properties so that the nutrients stay on their properties useful for the crops and not just down into our lakes creating algae blooms and that kind of thing. We have also recognition of conservation stewards in our county, and it's great to see some people stepping out and doing some amazing things, whether it be on their own property or on the shared resources like the lakes, that we make sure to reward and encourage that kind of effort as well. And so it's a great benefit to Eau Claire County to be able to serve in that role to help coordinate some of those efforts as well.
Great. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of lakes, and I know you've got a role involved with lakes, but Josh does as well, as I think Eau Claire County owns a lot of the property around Lake Eau Claire. We've got parks and forests. Why don't you tell the viewers about what the department does and the kinds of services provided?
Sure. Well, we have 7 county parks in Eau Claire County, and a lot of those are concentrated along the Eau Claire River and the lakes that the county has to offer. So we provide a lot of different outdoor-based recreational opportunities at those parks. And besides the parks, we also have a couple special use areas that we manage, as well as the 52,000 plus acre county forest. And along with all those things, we also have the motorized trails in the county, snowmobile trails, ATV trails, and as well as a lot of non-motorized recreational opportunities that we provide. So we really do have a wide variety of things for the citizens of the county, as well as other people from around the state that come to this area to vacation.
Yeah, and I know from a quality of life point of view, having high quality parks like we have, high quality lakes really is a draw. In terms of managing the lakes, maybe if you want to talk about dams for a moment, and then maybe Kelly talk about the management plans, working with lake associations and the lake districts to be sure that Lake Eau Claire and Lake Altoona man-made lakes are maintained in healthy fisheries and so on and so forth.
Sure. Well, we actually do have 3 county-owned and operated dams in the county. The 2 large ones, which most people are all familiar with, on Lake Eau Claire and Lake Altoona, and then we also have a smaller one on Coon Fork Lake. And the 2 large dams do require a person there to operate them to help regulate the water flow on the lakes, which is crucial to recreation on the lakes as well as the fisheries in the lakes. And along with these large dams, there's maintenance issues that we have with them that we address. And we do a pretty good job of addressing those issues as soon as we can and making sound use of grants that are out there to help pay for any maintenance costs that we might have with the dams. With the Wisconsin Municipal Dam Grant Program is a program that the county has used quite a bit to help pay for maintenance and repair costs over the years.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, and so with the lakes, the lake districts and associations and citizen groups actually really take the lead in management of their lake resources, our shared lake resources in our reality. So what we do look at with those groups is we look at, the big one is sediment, managing sediment that comes into our lakes, because they are impoundments, so they're designed to trap sediment essentially, but if we're going to maintain good healthy lakes, we need to make sure to manage those numbers and levels of sediment coming in. So we actually include that in a lake management plan. Other things in the lake management that we include is fish habitat. We're doing some things with woody habitat on the shorelines to try to encourage production of the food that the fish actually need in order to thrive in that environment. So that's one of the things we do, and in partnering again with the Parks and Forests Department, working with them on our county lands to make sure that we can do everything that we can as a county to help encourage those fish populations. Also, with the lake management plans, we do have a lake rehabilitation program that the county offers. Our county board has actually made a point of prioritizing that our lakes as a good resource for the community and for our citizens, and so they do put not just our efforts with staff but also financial contributions towards the efforts that with the lake management in Eau Claire County. So that's all lakes in Eau Claire County that do have some benefit there as well.
And you kind of talk about, for the lake management, a lot of collaboration with local groups in the Lake District and so on, and I think collaboration on the recreation is also pretty important. Josh, can you kind of talk about, I'm thinking of the mountain bikes, I'm thinking of skiing and other uses, and how we, Eau Claire County, work with individual citizens and groups to really strengthen those resources? Yeah,
we definitely have a pretty unique program on the recreational side of things here, where we do work with a lot of those groups. The Corba, the Chippewa Off-Road Bike Organization, we work with them quite a bit. They've been an integral part of developing our bike trails out at Lowe's Creek. We have the Ski Sprites organization that we work with out on Lake Altoona for water ski shows. Ski Striders out at Tower Ridge Recreational Area, which provide skiing lessons for kids and opportunities for those that want to get into skiing, along with just a whole lot of other groups that we work with. The National Rifle Range Club out there, we work with them a lot. The Chippewa Valley Off-Road, or Chippewa Valley Horseback Riders Association, we work with quite a bit. It seems like there's probably about 10 or 12 groups that we work with on a fairly regular basis, and it really is great that so many people in the community get involved with those recreational opportunities and help provide an even better place for us to have.
In terms of the Expo Center, we didn't talk about that earlier, but I think when we get, people are familiar, Breakfast in the Valley is held out there, and the curling and the fair. It's managed by the Parks and Forest Department, so maybe if you can talk briefly about it. But I know, with the fair and 4-H, Extension is involved with usage, and just kind of talk about that resource here in Eau Claire County.
So the Expo Center is a facility that is currently managed by the Parks and Forest Department, and that relationship so far has worked very well. It's a good use of employees and resources to help with functions at the Expo Center now. I think we have a good handle on how the events should roll out there, and there's just a wide variety of events pretty much throughout the whole summer season, spring and fall. And then of course in the wintertime we have the partnership with the Curling Club that has wide use out there, and I know that their membership has grown to be quite extensive out there. So.
Yeah, and for the Extension Office, the 4-H clubs do utilize that during the Eau Claire County Fair. And at one time I had an AmeriCorps Vista who helped get the kitchen out there up to commercial kitchen status. So that's available when the Curling Club is not there. That can be rented for commercial kitchen space too. So that was something that we don't have a lot of commercial kitchens right now in Eau Claire. There are a few, and we were able to figure out a way to utilize that space at Expo with just a few upgrades to get it to that status, and so that people can use that space.
Great, great. Well, we just have a couple minutes left. Why don't we just quickly go around and give each of you a chance to share some additional information that you haven't mentioned yet, but you think would be helpful for the viewers to know about what happens in your respective departments.
Sure. For the horticulture educator position, many people don't know that they can bring plant samples into the office and have me identify weeds and bugs and help them manage those situations. We also do soil testing in our office. People can bring that for a minimal fee and get those tested for lawns, gardens, and fields, and then get help understanding the results of that. And we just want the public to know that for every dollar that comes into our office from federal funds or from the county funds, that we leverage up to $7 in additional resources through volunteers, grants, sponsorships, and fees to just leverage that money to make it a bigger bang for the buck, so to speak.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Kelly.
One of the things that people really should know is that they're welcome to stop by our office anytime if there's questions with wildlife management on your property, or how can I better keep the soil on my property, or there's a roof runoff situation that's actually cutting a gully across my driveway. Some of those kind of things, we can definitely come up with some concepts and ideas, and we do have cost share that'll help fund some of those activities. The reality is the cost share that we offer to private landowners is only about 8% of the money that actually, of the total, is actually county money. So we get other money from state and other sources, grant sources and such. So I think that's a great investment for the county to help ensure the protection of its resources. And if you do choose cost share, that's definitely an option, but you don't necessarily have to. And so we do try to help landowners out, even from the perspective of through our farmland preservation program. We allow people to collect up to $300,000 of tax credits every year is what we've been issuing here in Eau Claire County. So helping people become eligible for programs such as that tax credit collection program is also a great resource that we can help people get into compliance and get people up to speed so that they're able to take advantage of other programs.
Great. And Josh?
Yeah, I would say that our department with our parks operations and our forestry end of things, it is one of the more unique combinations of functions that we have within the county. And we do have a pretty good timber program established on the county forest, which brings in quite a fair amount of revenue to the county, and it helps offset some of the other programs that aren't run as effectively or as efficiently there. Currently, we do have no tax levy on the county, so we are a self-sustaining program there, along with the Expo Center operations. So we do bring in quite a bit of money through our timber program, through park entrance fees, and also grants. Our department does do quite a few grants, along with the other ones that you've mentioned here today. So your tax dollars are well at use with the Parks and Forest Department.
Sounds great. Well, thanks. Do you want to do that one? Why don't you do it? Camera, point to Josh.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
All right. Okay. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us today, talking about education, conservation, and recreation here in Eau Claire County. And Erin, Kelly, and Josh, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And thank you.
The mission of the Eau Claire County Board is to provide quality and responsive services and programs aimed at protecting the public safety, health, and economic security of our residents in a cost-effective manner through innovation and leadership. Your county government is produced through the facilities of Chippewa Valley Community Television in cooperation with the Eau Claire County Board of Supervisors. For more information about the Eau Claire County Board and how they aim to help the residents of Eau Claire County, go to www.co.eau-claire.wi.us.